What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we discuss the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
What up?
Yeah, so today is discussion day. So the way we break it down throughout the week, because we release Monday through Friday. So Monday and Tuesday are our topics. So this week we talked about voice recognition at banks. We also discussed the latest and greatest for the iOS 14.5 and how most people opted out of it, which is very interesting. And then Wednesday will be Ask Us SP. So please send your questions. And then today, if you listen to this today, could be listening to tomorrow, I don't know. But whenever you listen to this, we're discussing the latest poll, I guess you can call it, the top 50 most diverse companies. And in it, only 3 were tech firms. That's right, 3 out of 50. So it's probably better than it was before, where it would have been 0 or 1.
Right.
But now we're up to 3. So normally we talk about these type of things. Like usually we try to have those feel good stories where we start to see that those 6 and 7% of people of color who are in IT, or those 3% that are in the senior C-level suite positions, it's continuous growth. We're trying to grow the market out. We're trying to get more people into cyber, more people of color into cyber. But as you can see, because of this poll, which was taken, or not taken by, but featured on ZD.net, by Diversity Inc. Was the company, and in it they only talk about 3 tech companies. So we have a long way to go. This is the 2021 version of the poll, and I'm trying to make sure I get the companies right, because I don't remember which ones were listed. I don't see it.
The tech companies, I think it was Accenture, Comcast, ADP.
Yeah,
I think that's
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the top 3
Yep.
tech companies.
Yep, Accenture, Comcast, ADP. Yeah. So, but that's it. So there's a lot more companies out there. I was hoping to see Apple. I was hoping to see Google. I was hoping to see a bunch of other companies, Amazon maybe, but no, just these 3 companies. So as you can see, there's a lot more work to be had. But we have talked in the past about how Apple is investing $1 billion in North Carolina, how Google's investing $1 billion in NYC, Bell South, I think it's Bell South, and a few other companies. So they are investing, and it will take time to grow these pipelines. But I'm greedy and I want to see it now. So right. How do you guys feel about this?
Yeah, I think it's it's obviously it's good to see companies in general that have diverse workforce. I was looking through the article. I was trying to kind of see. I wish it kind of had more information about what they consider diverse, and like if it's just like Black people, or if it's like maybe Asians too, or some Indian. Or I guess Indians might be considered Asian as well. But
it also went by sex as well. They also
sex as well.
Yeah, male, female.
Male, female, right? Yeah,
mention that as well.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking about, like whether. And I apologize, I didn't get a good chance to read all the details, but yeah, I'm curious about the diversity, and like you mentioned, if it's just it's race and sex orientation, but at the same time, the fact that there's only 3 like tech companies that are in there, it's a little concerning. I wish there was more. I know we talked about it before, and I think in IT in general, I think there's maybe at least when it comes to African American, it's like only 7%. I think it was the number that we had, like of the IT workforce is of African descent. But I wish there was more. I wish like some of the big companies, like you were mentioning, Apple's, the Microsoft's, the Google's, those are some of the big companies, the biggest companies. I think, and I'm not sure how many people work for these top 3 tech, like the Accenture, Comcast, ADP. I'm actually curious about if they only have like 10 people, and then one of them is Black, and it's like, oh, we got 10%, but it's the more that these companies are diverse, I mean, I think diversity springs like, unique ideas, and diversity helps, I think, company grow in general. If they have everybody that's like-minded, like backgrounds, everything's gonna be kind of like, similar. There's gonna be no kind of innovation. We got diverse people working for your company. You're gonna have some people that think outside the box, or at least have a different perspective on things and give you some different ideas. But yeah, like you mentioned, I wish there's a little bit more of the big companies in here. I like to see, maybe I'll take some time later, just take a look at some of if I can find these top 3 tech companies and actually see what their the diversity is within those individual companies. I'm curious to see how many Black people they have, how many white people, how many Indian or Asian people that they have in their company. How many men do they have? How many women? But the more that we get these companies diverse, I think it'd be better for everybody. It's like I mentioned, diversity is help bring about innovation. But did you have some thoughts on it as well,
So
Shannon?
I was gonna say
sorry,
before you, so I did go into the poll. It is a lot of information,
Yeah.
that the way that they poll it, but the big key takeaways: human capital, capital. Can't say the word right now, which includes racial, ethnic representation of the overall workforce and management, as well as representation in new hires, promotions, turnovers, and the 10% highest paid employees. It also has leadership and accountability, which is CEO/senior leadership commitment and accountability, diversity, and inclusion management, as well as representation metrics and practices of the board of directors and diversity councils. So I'm sure that a lot of this is surveys and what have you. Talent programs, participation metrics and practices for formal mentoring, formal sponsorship, employee resource groups, and high potential programs. Then there's 3 more. There's workplace practices and metrics related to talent acquisition, talent management, onboarding, diversity training, workforce development and engagement, LGBTQ inclusion, people with disabilities, military community, and employee benefits. And then the last 2 are supplier diversity, which is the procurement spend within companies owned by people from underrepresented groups, as well as leadership, accountability, and management practices. And then lastly, philanthropy, contributions to and engagement with nonprofit organizations focused on people from underrepresented groups. So it is a pretty detailed report. And then it kind of breaks it down within each company, what strengths they had within those categories.
Nice.
That is a long list to go and base that off of. That's very thorough, actually.
Yeah, it really is. And I happened to just browse to Comcast's. They have like a diversity report section on the website, and it actually says they have 35% of their employees are women as of the year end of 2019, and then 44% of their employees were people of color as of the end of 2019, and then 50% of their board of directors are women or people of color. So those are some good statistics. I mean, that sounds like pretty. I think Comcast is. I'm familiar with that company. I know that's a pretty big company. I actually have my internet providers through Xfinity, which is part of Comcast.
Yes,
yeah. So I kind of know a little bit about at least interacting with that company in at some form. But I think that's pretty good. That's some good statistics to pull. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Shannon. Did you have some thoughts?
No, you didn't cut me off. Ryan cut me off. No.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Ryan spoke first.
No, that was good. No, that was good. No. I'm joking, everybody. Look, I am definitely joking. That was very good information. Like in the article, it just highlights a few things like gender and things like that. But like when you actually went in there and read everything that goes by, I was like, wow, that is way more inclusive than what I thought it was. I thought it maybe be like 5 categories or something like that.
Right.
But no, that was a very good list. But something you brought up earlier though, LeVon, was perspective, right? So the way it does help hiring minorities is that you do get that different perspective, right? So I'm not saying that every minority grows up poor, but there is a disparity between the wealth when it comes to people that are white and people of color, right? So when you grow up not having much, right, like you start thinking about things that you wish you had or things you wish you were doing, you know what I mean? Whether it be because like just because something's a tech company doesn't mean they can't help with when it comes to like public transportation or something like that, right?
Right.
Like I was reading something the other day because I was looking into solar panels. I recently found this out. Tesla actually does solar panels and like solar roofs. Did you guys were you guys aware of this?
Yeah,
I didn't
heard
know
about
it
that.
until recently. I was like, wow. I was like, they're really getting their hands in everything. It's not just cars now with Tesla. You know what I mean? But like, there's different avenues you can get into, and like, so this is the 2021 report, and we've bought some stuff up on the podcast where there are these big companies that are out there doing these different things that are helping those underrepresented companies, but they haven't come to fruition yet, right? Like they're not breaking ground on some of these things until like June 2021, August 2021. So I would expect to see more possibly in the 2022 report and beyond, where some of these other big companies, will start being working more. Will be higher up on the list, I said, or even make the list, right, of these top 50. But they just haven't broken ground and haven't really implemented these things that they've done that we should give them credit for. I know it seems like we come down on these companies a lot, the stuff that they do, but like you guys were mentioning, though, like they've got different campuses they're opening up in locations that have higher people of color demographic, So no, this is I'm not gonna say I was surprised by it, right? Because we kind of knew this was the case, and it's some of the topics we've talked about in the podcast have been, hey, let's get out to these other communities, and they started to do that. You know what I mean? These other companies have started to do that. They're building campuses. They're putting money into it. No, granted, drops in the bucket for them, right? But a lot of money to these other communities, right? We just talked about Raleigh last week. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, this is. It wasn't too surprising what I saw, but I expect going forward, it is going to be, or tech companies are going to be better represented on this list.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's a lot of, like, obviously if only 3 are tech companies, then the rest are, other companies that do other things, right? And I was like, okay, I see you Best Buy, while you still exist. You're doing a good job. Denny's is on the list. I also saw Intel, HSBC, like we talked about them earlier in the week. So there's a lot of other companies, Pepsi. So there's a lot being done. It's just I definitely want to see next year. I would like to see 6 or 10. You know what I mean? And then, like you said, it'll catch up. Like people, there is a lot of pressure, but don't ease up on the pressure. Like, because these initiatives are for 2020, 2021, 2022. But if we keep pressing them, then maybe 2025 they drop 2 billion, 4 billion, like they drop another Apple Loop somewhere else in the States, like maybe in Raleigh. Like, so keep it up, and we see that things are starting to change. So definitely continue to hold them accountable, but also appreciate for what they are starting to do. They are starting to get the pipeline moving. So So yeah, I think it's all good initiatives, and this is very detailed. Like I'm actually gonna start digging a little bit through the stats, because like it breaks down each company and then the different categories they fall in, and if you fall in multiple categories, obviously you move up on the list. Like, okay, you're doing all these things, that makes you move up. So I was like, okay, pretty cool.
That's some good stuff. I was gonna ask, like, this is kind of off topic, but I think I heard you guys pronounce it differently. But what do you call it? You say Raleigh or Rally?
So I say Raleigh.
So Rallies is where you get the fries, man.
Right.
Rallies.
I say Raleigh, North Carolina, right? Raleigh.
Yep.
But it sounds like Shannon, you were saying like Raleigh, North Carolina. That's what it sounded like.
No, Rallies is the restaurant. Raleigh.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's my accent.
maybe it's the accent. Maybe it just came through in my end. I was like Raleigh. No, okay. Maybe I just misheard. I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take a step back.
Hey, well, we all lived in Virginia. Is it was it Rappahannock and Tappahannock and Norfolk versus Norfolk?
Yeah.
Norfolk versus Suffolk.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like what?
I remember I was at I used to live in Norfolk, Virginia, and I was at a concert
in Norfolk.
Norfolk. And there was like I want to say he might have been like Jamaican or something like that, and he was like, he got on stage and he wanted to like give a little shout out, like, I'm so proud to be in this city. He's like, and he said no fucking Virginia. Like I was like, what? Excuse me, sir. No fuck Virginia. I was like, okay.
Like it's close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah. That'll work.
But yeah, no, that's what's up. Like, there's a bunch of companies that obviously didn't make the top 50 or whatever, but they are in a category. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know. Like you have like CVS in the top companies for talent acquisition for women of color. Didn't know. Now I do. It might be they might have some initiatives and some stuff going on in that that can plug people into doing moving up the ladder, being in management, all the way up to general manager, CEO. The sky's the limit. So you love to see it. I think that's what the kids say. I think that's what I see in the memes, and it's definitely it makes me happy to see that people are making the effort. So
absolutely, it's good to see. Absolutely good thing to see that these companies are making an effort, and yeah, I think it's good to kind of track this stuff. And I'm glad you came across this, and hopefully we can kind of track this in the future and see like in the next coming years how it changes, and how if we get more tech companies get dropped into the bucket of these top 50 companies that promote diversity.
Yeah, definitely. And if you, the listener, would like to promote diversity, keep listening to us. But a segue into definitely check out last week's interview with Ms. Hollins, where we discussed just how she, a woman of color, became a trailblazer in digital forensics and cybersecurity, as well as all of her entrepreneurship and sponsorship things that her and her company are doing. And then she also breaks down what it means to be a VCISO and kind of dispels some of the cons that we brought up earlier when we read the article. So definitely check that out. Just plug. I'm plugging for a episode of a show that you're already listening to. So keep listening. We'll also check out the back catalog as well. You guys have anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay, so that wraps this episode. So continue to listen. Obviously, if you make it till Friday, you'll hear us talk about everything other than cyber. So we got some good stuff coming up about a bunch of shows we watched and were terrible, but we'll get to that in the next episode. Definitely hit us up on the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, where you can get to all of our other social medias. Definitely check out the video on YouTube, the audio on your podcast platform of choice. You can hit me up personally at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, IG, Twitter, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
You hit me up on Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. So with that being said, you guys take care. Keep listening.
Right on.